Alright, I feel as if I must reiterate my disclaimer from the last segment. This is the topic of faith, and with anything faith-based, belief is the key. Even in order to be an atheist, one has to believe in it and have faith in their belief. With that being said, I will mention events that are written in this faith-based literature to use as points of reference. So we established in the last few segments on how the Bible came to be and how it was inscribed. I even expressed how the texts have been preserved throughout the millennium at such a high standard. The Israelite and Jewish scholars have maintained the integrity of the Hebrew writings, even in today's day. But if we pick up a Bible and read it, there is more than just the Tanakh or Old Testament. There are other writings that came into its collective as well. Throughout the Tanakh, there is a promise ever since Mount Sinai that there will be a special prophet whom which the children of Israel must listen to, commanded by the Creator. Also, there is a promise that a descendant of King David will be anointed and save the children of Israel and bring forth restoration. This is commonly understood in today's day as the Messiah. Because of different mentionings in the parts of the Tanakh, most who practice Judaism, which is modern-day Phariseeism, think of this as possibly coming from two different people. Well, there was a man born in King David's hometown who was from his lineage, who is believed by many to be the one spoken of in both cases. His existence is irrefutable even among Jews who do not believe in him because of the many recordings of what transpired in his ministry, from believers and non. You see, it was a custom in ancient Israel for a scribe to write when someone or anyone would prophesy. In typical Israelite fashion, these writings were maintained and passed on throughout the last 2,000 years. But that's the Jewish side. This man spoken of was named Yeshua, transliterated in Latin as Jesus. Because of such a huge effect he had in his generation, there were many writings about him. Some of them came from those who served in his ministry, and a lot came from the outside perspective of that ministry. He was crucified by the Romans and had many followers, disciples, and believers. Most of them at that time were Israelites, some of whom were once religious Pharisees, and even some Gentiles or non-Israelites. You see, this was a strange occurrence for non-Israelites to believe in the Messiah of Israel. The belief in Yeshua grew to many of the modern world at that time. The only problem was that it was interfering with a mandate of Roman rule. These new Gentile or non-Israelite believers associated themselves to Israel and some of the writings of Israel, namely the Tanakh. Needless to say that Rome wasn't too happy with this and began a heavy campaign in an attempt to eradicate those believers from the Roman Empire. Although many were persecuted, it brought no change in the belief. So the Roman leader Constantine made a tactical decision to change the empire into a Roman pagan-influenced Christian empire, roughly 300 years after the crucifixion of Yeshua.